the heart of an ancient, magical forest lived a friendly bear and a curious squirrel. They were good friends who loved exploring their enchanted home together. One day, as they walked under the glowing trees, they noticed a lost owl sitting on a branch. "Oh dear," said the squirrel, "I've never seen an owl during the day. Maybe he's lost or needs help." The bear agreed and suggested that they should try to find out what was wrong with the owl. So they carefully approached him and asked if everything was okay. "I'm afraid I've got a sore wing," said the owl, "and I don't know how to get back home." The squirrel and bear looked at each other with concern, but also determination. They knew they had to help their new friend. So they decided to guide the owl back to his nest for some rest and healing. Throughout their journey, the squirrel would climb up trees, while the bear would lift the owl gently onto his back. They took turns leading the way until they finally reached the owl's cozy nest. The owl was extremely grateful for their kindness and offered them some honey from his hive as a thank you gift. The squirrel and bear happily accepted the sweet treat and promised to visit the owl again soon. From that day on, the squirrel, bear, and owl became even better friends, always looking out for each other in their enchanted forest home. And whenever they saw another creature who needed help, they knew exactly what to do. Lend a paw, a wing, or a friendly ear. Now it's time for you to snuggle into your bed and drift off to sleep, knowing that even in the magical world of dreams, kindness can always bring joy and make friends. The squirrel and bear were excited to explore more of their enchanted forest home together. One day, they stumbled upon a mysterious glowing mushroom hidden among the trees. "Oh wow," exclaimed the curious squirrel, "I've never seen anything like this before." The friendly bear agreed and carefully approached the mushroom to get a closer look. As he got closer, he noticed that it was emitting a warm, comforting light. "Maybe we should take this home with us," suggested the squirrel. "It might make a nice lamp for our treehouse." So they carefully picked up the glowing mushroom and carried it back to their cozy treehouse. Once there, they placed the mushroom in a small pot filled with dirt and water, making sure it was safe and secure. As they watched over the magical mushroom, they soon noticed that its light was growing brighter and stronger each day. The squirrel and bear couldn't help but smile as they realized how lucky they were to have such a beautiful and unique addition to their home. From then on, whenever anyone in the forest needed some extra light or warmth, they knew where to find it under the watchful eye of the friendly bear and curious squirrel, who always made sure that kindness and friendship shone brightly throughout their magical forest home. The next day, the squirrel and bear decided to explore more of their enchanted forest home. As they walked under the glowing trees, they noticed a group of lost bunnies hopping aimlessly around. "Oh dear," said the squirrel, "those poor bunnies look confused. Maybe we should help them find their way back to their burrow." The bear agreed and suggested that they split up. He would go with one group of bunnies, while the squirrel went with another. They both knew it was important not to let the bunnies get too scared or anxious. So, off they went, following the fluffy tails of the bunnies as they hopped along. It wasn't long before they found two burrows side by side, filled with soft grass and twigs. The squirrel and bear smiled at each other, knowing that they had once again helped their forest friends find their way home. From that day on, the squirrel, bear, and all the animals of the enchanted forest knew that they could always rely on each other for help and support. And as the sun set over the magical trees, casting long shadows across the forest floor, they all snuggled into their cozy nests or burrows, safe in the knowledge that kindness and friendship would always guide them through the darkness of night. Now it's time for you to drift off to sleep, knowing that even in your dreams, there are still many adventures waiting for you in the enchanted forest. Good night, little one. Sleep tight. One day, as the squirrel and bear were playing near a sparkling stream, they noticed a small bird with a broken wing, struggling to fly. "Oh no," said the squirrel. "I think that bird needs our help." The bear agreed and suggested that they should try to find a safe place for the bird to rest while its wing healed. So they gently picked up the little bird and carried it to a nearby tree with a sturdy branch. They then gathered some soft leaves and moss to make a comfortable nest for the bird. As they worked, they could see the bird's small chest rise and fall with each breath, indicating how exhausted it was. Once everything was ready, they carefully placed the bird in its new nest and watched as it settled down for a well-deserved rest. The squirrel and bear smiled at each other, knowing that they had once again helped another creature in need. From then on, the squirrel, bear, and all the animals of the enchanted forest knew that kindness and friendship were not just words, but actions that could make a real difference in someone's life. And as the stars began to twinkle in the night sky, they all snuggled into their cozy homes or nests, secure in the knowledge that together they could face any challenge, big or small, with warm hearts and helping hands. Now it's time for you to drift off to sleep, knowing that even in your dreams, there are still many adventures waiting for you in the magical forest. Good night, little one. Sleep tight.